Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another week behind the trades of Alex G. Our goal this week is to make $200,000 to $300,000. We have not traded for a whole entire week ever since we broke our record for the most profits made in a single day, which was $730,000 2 weeks ago in Dubai. I did not trade last week. I would have taken 2 losses if I did trade last week, so that was amazing. So we did not trade last week, and now this week our goal is to take a trade and win. We have not hit the gym. We have not hit the gym in 3 weeks. Genetics is a huge factor, guys. So if you guys out there are hitting the gym and you guys don't have the results that you want, it is probably because of your parents. Your genetics are probably not the best. I have been extremely blessed to have very good genetics. I have not worked out for 3 weeks, and look at this. Still looks pretty much the same. Okay, to be honest, my diet has been on point. I will factor that in. I do get my steps in, and I have worked out for a long time to get to the point where I am now. It reminded me I need to get my gym shit. I'll have it over there. All right, cool. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's begin. So CAD JPY, right? So CAD JPY is going to be my number one pair that I'm interested for the week. By the way, before that, I wanna make something very clear right now. Anybody out there that is trading the S&P 500 and you're trading gold, you're a gambler. You're a degenerate. You're just like, you have no context of what is proper confluence trading, in my humble opinion, because I like taking a trade that has the most amount of confluences and there is data to the left. If there's nothing to the left, what are you going to base your trade off of? Right now, gold is at an all-time high. Why would you buy something that is at an all-time high? People that have been riding this wave and just buying as this has continuously gone up, it's just pure luck in my opinion, right? Like, yeah, you've made money, but you're not a profitable trader if you just make money. Anybody can make money on a bull run, right? All you have to do is just buy. That's not that fucking hard if you ask me. Proper day trading is in here. It's in the middle. This is proper day trading. This is just, you're just trading with the trend, which is fine. I get it. But this, like, you don't really have a strategy here. You're just looking for any reason to buy. And any reason to buy on something that's the highest point it's ever been, to me, it's just a gamble. Same exact thing as the SPX 500. Trying to predict the top here or keep riding it to the highs, it just doesn't make sense. I just can't comprehend it. If there's nothing to the left, it doesn't make any sense to me, right? For me, CAD JPY, I look to the left, I can tell that this resistance level has many rejections from this area. And you can go back years and you can tell whenever we're below it, we go down. Whenever we're above it, we go up. It's simple. You can see to the left that whenever we're below this area, we're heading down. Whenever we're above it, we head up. And right now we're below it. Makes sense to sell. Not to something that's at an all-time high and you're just going to keep buying with it. That doesn't make any sense in my opinion, right? But whatever, right? To each their own. We'll see who's still around 6 to 12 months from now, and if they're still making any type of money, right? Maybe gold keeps going up forever, and then it's, I'm totally wrong, but that's not how the markets typically work, right? But for right now, CAD JPY, for me, it's below this very strong respected resistance level. I need for price to come back, give me a little bit more of a confirmation to sell. Right now, it is Monday noon, so we are already towards the ending of New York session, so I'm not going to be interested in taking this trade. It is daily closes like this. It's very solid. For CAD JPY, I'm going to be waiting for the price to give me a little bit more of a retracement into here so that I can enter the sell. Or I'm going to be waiting for price to have a break and retest to then buy. USD CAD, very similar. This is a bit of a counter trend trade, very high risk trade. We are at a all-time, not an all-time high. We are in this structure move high, rejecting the structure level. And then on the 4-hour time frame, I can see this 4-hour is looking to shift structure to bearish. This is currently bullish. This is the higher low. This is the higher high. Structure has not broken below this higher low. So this is a pretty aggressive counter trend trade because we have no confluences in our favor. We have no time frames in our favor. But I can see this potentially having a move to the downside from this area here, from this support level being rejected as resistance. I can see this being a very clean sell-off. I want to wait for the daily time frame to close in the next 5 hours to confirm that this is a proper closure. But until then, not much that I can do. Euro USD. I'm going to be waiting for price on Euro USD to give me a break and retest on this to sell. This was my record breaking trade. So right here in Dubai, this is my record breaking trade. Beautiful head and shoulders, broke, retested that neckline, sold off. If you have not seen that video, make sure you guys go check it out in that channel. And if you're not fucking subscribed to this channel, hit the fucking subscribe button. We do this every week. Next. So yeah, Euro USD, I'm going to be waiting for price to basically have a very clean break and retest below so we can have the trade continuation to the downside. Next, we have GBP USD, which is pretty much a copy paste version of Euro USD. It's a very strong and, in my opinion, could be a very respected head and shoulders. I think this retest of this neckline just has gone above. This is another big head and shoulders. When it came to retest this neckline and never rejected it. So I want the market to show me the hand first. Show me the break. I'll wait for the retest and then we will enter the big time sell to the downside. I'm going to put an alarm here to let me know once and if we decide to break through this area. Same exact thing with Euro USD. And on NZDUSD, we're going to be waiting for proper rejection and a retest of this area right here. As you can tell, price has just started to pull up into this area, and I'm going to be waiting for price to have a retest and a rejection. So right now it looks like we're having that proper retest. As you can tell, the structure is just making it into that area right now. This is it. It's just making it into that area right now. So we have to wait for the daily to close and see how it rejects it. USD CHF, not super interested in. GBP CHF, not super interested in, but for potential buys. With that being it, ladies and gentlemen, this is Monday update for you guys. I'm gonna go hit the gym now, go get my cardio in, maybe tan for a little bit, and set and fucking forget for the rest of the day. See you guys tonight for London session. All right, boys, market update. We are back. It is currently 10:16 Monday evening. Bro, I'm so tired of this hair already, bro. I'm ready to like shave it off. I give me like another 30 days with the afro and then I'm just gonna get rid of it, honestly. CAD JPY. So we've been expecting for price to come back into this area in order for us to enter the sell. That is exactly what we're doing right now. So we're gonna be waiting for our entry signal tonight in London session to be interested in selling this. So this is cooking right now. It's currently cooking, waiting for this to give us a rejection properly to sell. So it could be a clean 1 hour bearish engulfing candlestick. It could be a 2 hour bearish engulfing candlestick. It'll be something like this. Yeah, 30-minute bearish engulfing below here, and I'll be interested in entering this. So very clean potential head and shoulders. I'm gonna put my alarm here to let me know once and if that decides to happen. USD CAD. We have not broken below this area how I anticipated. Once again, we got to factor in this is a very high risk trade and not the most ideal position we want to be entering, right? It's a counter trend trade. I'm going to be waiting for the same thing for price to properly get below this area right here so I can enter with momentum. I don't want to enter off of impulse. I want to enter with a confirmation. Euro USD, so far no break and retest below. No trade. GBP USD, no break or retest below, no trade. NZDUSD, let's actually move this one a little bit up. Right now we've properly approached this area, so we're probably gonna wait for a little bit more rejections from the daily because the daily looks like it just got here. So we're gonna wait for the next daily candlestick to close before we make a decision. USD CHF, nothing, and GBP CHF, nothing. So our main focus is CAD JPY and USD CAD and NZDUSD and Euro USD. Pretty simple update. We'll come back maybe tonight during London. I'm not gonna lie. CAD JPY looks like it might have the move. Potentially. ETH is below 4K. I'm gonna buy some ETH real soon. I just don't see a world where ETH is simply not $10,000. I just can't see a world where ETH is not at 10,000. If ETH hits 10,000, that's 150%. It's a solid investment in my opinion. The amount of money that I would put into it, I think it's a very significant amount. Solana, honestly, I don't really know, but I feel like if this breaks these highs, I feel like this has no limit. It'll do something like what ETH did. I see a Solana like way down here. So we got plenty of space. Solana just came out a couple years ago. ETH, it's been around for a little bit more, like 6-7 years more. 6-7. Fuck, dude, that's so gay. Gold is at an all-time high, breaking above these highs. I got nothing on this, honestly. I'm sticking to my Forex pairs. So yeah, I'll update you guys with these markets later on. Let's see what goes down. All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is currently Wednesday morning, so I haven't done an update, I think, in 24 hours. CAD JPY never slowed down here. Obviously, price went to the upside. We were looking for sells here. Fuck, I can't believe I did not record me updating you guys this. But yeah, basically, I was waiting for the break and retest of this neckline of the head and shoulders. Price never got it, so we avoided this loss to perfection. Now we're going to be waiting for a retest to then buy. USD CAD, last night I was waiting for this trade to come back into this area of interest and give us an entry signal to then sell. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. Oof, this is a pretty decent trade. I just see this having that weekly retracement. This could be a very clean counter trend trade we can potentially just jump into right now. Oh man. Should we just jump into this, John, right now? Does the risk to reward make sense? I don't know. I know we were looking at another trade. Yes, we were looking at NZDUSD. So NZDUSD, last night, we were ready to enter this trade, but I wanted for price to give us another liquidity grab. I have to pop up a piece of the recording of my class with the No BS students just because I explain everything there in far more detail with them. So I'm just going to give this to you guys so you guys can see it because I fucked up and I didn't do an update. I was just tired after a 2-hour call with my students. So editors, please pop up the 15-minute breakdown that I did with my students on the No BS call of what I anticipated for the call and for 11th session. Boom. This week has been pretty slow. Honestly, for me, last week was, I think it was a great week. I think it was a great example of patience. I know we pretty much experienced that together. The whole, I think it was CAD JPY, right? CAD JPY. Yeah, CAD JPY. Oh no, this was this week's that I avoided. It was, I know it was GBP USD, and what was the other one? The other loss that we were gonna take. Oh, I forgot now. I know it's GBP USD and USD CHF. Yes. So kind of diving right into it. Last week, the USD CHF trade that we were breaking down live on Wednesday, I think it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We basically avoided this loss to the perfection by waiting for price to have the break above. So early into the call of the No BS, I explained that I was interested in taking the trade and I would love to enter the trade with everybody live, but wasn't giving me the proper confirmation for me to enter the trade. And I was waiting for the break out of it. Once price started to have this retracement, doesn't mean that we were going to get a better entry. Just means that pretty much the trade is actually wrong. And we were very much wrong. Price literally went in the complete other direction. If I would have taken this trade, I would have actually not minded the loss at all because I was just completely wrong at the trade. It was not a wick out, but the trade selection of picking these trades correctly and waiting for these extra confirmations is where taking these unnecessary losses makes literally the biggest difference. So we avoided this loss to perfection. Price made it back into the support level and is currently now having a reaction from this area, which is what I would expect, right? Once we hit the lowest point that we have hit before. I'm not super excited about buys. The daily has shifted bearish. This was the higher low. This was the higher high. We shifted bearish and now we've had a reaction from it. Every single time we have a bullish engulfing from this area, we pretty much have a push up. Historically, what it does every time. But there's something different about this time, and that is that there's a massive weekly bearish engulfing candlestick. So not sure if I'm trying to buy against that. 4-hour technically is still bearish. It's still a lower high. It's still a lower low. Maybe if we come back into this area, which I'm very confident in that it will retest this area, we'll see if it makes sense to enter a buy. Taking a DGen counter trend trade here is like the craziest scalp ever. Honestly, it might make sense. Maybe, if you want to, do something crazy like this. I could see something like this happening. Personally, I won't do it, but I'm more confident in this having a retracement to this area than this having a push to the upside. So there's no real confluences to take this trade down. Just what I'm looking when I look left, right? In this middle area, can always come back and retest into it, especially after a daily bullish engulfing. We'll probably have a retest, but not super interested in it. But yeah, that's my analysis for this trade for now. GBP USD was another trade last week that we avoided to perfection. This was literally a perfect example of patience pays. And even though we did have the perfect break of this area, so on the 30-minute time frame, we had a very clean break of this neckline of this head and shoulders. We shifted the structure. So I could have entered at that shift of the structure, but I decided to wait for the retest. It's what we were breaking down live on the call. And then on that retest, I'm like, you know what? We need the engulfing. We never got the engulfing, and we just avoided this loss as a whole. This is a perfectly avoided loss. This is a trade that if you took, it's not a terrible trade at all. This is actually a great trade. Price came back to area of interest, daily rejection, daily wick fail. Everything was anticipated. Something was mentioned by what's his name? Mark Antonio. Mark Antonio mentioned on the last call, and this is something that I want to have some more observation towards, and that is going to be the break of the previous daily wick high on that retracement candle. And if it breaks above that high, technically the trade is completely wrong, right? So maybe you guys don't understand off of this specific example, and I'm gonna explain it on the next couple of examples, but this is something that I do want to take into consideration when analyzing the trades if it breaks that high, right? And I'll explain that in another example. But yeah, this is another loss that was perfectly avoided. Last week we had a pretty strong bullish engulfing. I expect this week to be the break, next week to be the retest, and then the following week to be the push. So technically we're still 2 weeks away from entering this trade. I am seeing this little bit of a retracement, but we are being very much held above by this support as we've done in the past. So I'm not interested in selling this anytime soon. Still being very patient on it, but yeah, we avoided this loss to perfection as well. Pairs that I was interested in this week was, so those are two losses that I would have taken. CAD JPY, I would have taken this loss last night, but literally price came back into this area of interest, and I saw this little head and shoulders neckline right here, and I did see this beautiful bearish engulfing, but then right around here, this is like 11, 12 o'clock, about to be the beginning of pre-London session. I said, all right, cool. I'm going to only enter this trade once we break and confirm that we have broken this neckline of the head and shoulders. I'll either enter on the break or on the retest, depends how the momentum is of the trade. I set my alarm. Price never broke this neckline, never went through through the full head and shoulders, and then I avoided the loss as a whole. Personally, myself, Alex G of a year ago, would have entered this trade probably here because they would have seen this as the liquidity grab or as the double top and would have said, you know what, let's enter the trade here. We got a better entry than what we're supposed to be getting down here. And now we can actually make our tops tighter. And, you know, the trade has a better risk to reward. And I would have still lost this trade because I did not wait for this extra proper confirmation. So it's just crazy how being so selective, sometimes this happens, right? Where you avoid many losses. But I've also, like, if you look back on the recordings, like I've missed out on many trades waiting for these extra confirmations. So this is where long term it starts to balance out a little bit because you know when we're in those hot winning streaks where we're pretty much predicting every single trade and we're basically missing out on every single trade because we're just trying to take one good one. A lot of people like to ask, yo, how do I avoid missing out on those trades that happen all the time? And I just like to spin the question around. It's like the goal should never to be to avoid to miss out, right? Like you don't miss out on anything you don't actually execute. So if the trade just goes and you didn't enter it, cool, you move on. But these are the trades where if you stick to that same plan, waiting for those extra confirmations, you avoid the losses. The whole point of having these extra confirmations, waiting for this to do this is so you avoid a loss. It's literally for this exact same thing here. Is there times where the engulfing is super big and then it never comes back to give you the proper entry and then you miss out on the whole move? Sure. But the times that you avoid the losses compensate for the trades that you miss. And it's seen now on a long-term perspective because when you're in those hot streaks, all you think about is missing trades. Now on these quote unquote losing streaks, all you think about is, wow, I could have losses that I would have avoided. So when you look at on these 10 trades retrospect is where it really is at. Now it takes time because you're not going to see these 10 trades in 2 weeks. Like you'll see it in a month or two because that's when all these opportunities present themselves. So it takes a while for people to see it, but those of you guys that have been here for a while, I know you guys are kind of seeing it like play out time and time and time again. But for CAD JPY, my analysis is very simple now. It's just to continue trading with this trend, continue following this time frame. So we didn't respect it below. So now I'm going to be waiting for this trade to have a retest of this area to continue going to the upside. Basically what we did here. I'm going to be very, 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 very patient on this retest. Clearly, whenever we're above, we retest it multiple times before having the move. So I'm going to make sure that I don't enter on the first retest. It is a beautiful inverted head and shoulders, beautiful neckline of the EMA right at this area of interest. I think we might even have a round psychological level somewhere in here, potentially. If we do, cool. If we don't, doesn't matter. But basically a retest of here to head to the upside is very solid. We still have plenty of time left in the week, and this still remains as my number one pair. So avoided a loss here perfectly. USD CAD, same exact thing. Avoided another loss, just waiting for price to have the daily candlestick closure. So waiting for this daily candlestick closure, basically I saved myself from this drawdown right here. This is what I was talking about when it comes to the breaking the daily high, right? So this right here is the counter trend trade. So obviously the 4-hour time frame, let's just pretend that this 4-hour time frame has shifted bearish, right? This is the higher low, this is the higher high. We are bullish, but let's just pretend like it shifted bearish, right? Lower high, lower low. This could be the potential lower high. The daily time frame has these wicks that have the lower high, the lower low, lower high, lower low. Now the next daily candlestick is supposed to create a lower high inside of this without breaking this daily lower high technically, and then having to move to the downside. So what Mark Antonio was mentioning is that if we break this daily lower high, does that invalidate the move as a whole? And I told them that's a great fucking question because I don't know. I have no idea. So we're gonna start testing this out to see if the break of this lower high makes a difference, right? So technically this did break above it. So now this should head to the upside because on GBP USD, it did break above this lower high, lower low. This should have just created a little bit of a lower high here to then have a push down, but it broke above it. So this one indeed did work out. Now I want to see how this one plays out for now. So this is still great confirmation for us to be interested in taking the sell on this market. I think we're going to find some support at this lower structure level, and then we're going to have price come back and create another retest of this area. This is not a terrible trade to take. It's just a counter trend trade. And I want to make sure that I can have the most amount of confluences to be able to enter this trade. I like my take profit to be a little bit above the overall area of interest of where I expect the market to have a reaction from once we get to that area. And right now, this trade makes no sense with this risk to reward. So if price does come back a little bit into this area, I can then get a proper entry where then my risk to reward indeed does make sense. So USD CAD, basically, I'm going to be waiting for a little bit of a retracement to have this trade come back down. It's basically what it did right here, right? Price had a push, came back, retested, had a push down. Pretty much what we're waiting for. NZDUSD, I think it's my favorite one in terms of risk. So what I like from this market is that now the structure properly made it into this area. So we had actually a proper retest of this structure point. Beautiful daily doji. So this is the daily doji at an area of interest where I would expect a wick fill. I would expect the wick fill to the downside after this move. The 4-hour time frame, shift the structure, higher low, higher high. We shifted the structure, came back to retest it. On the 1 hour, we're technically still bearish. I would not count this as the lower high. And on the 30-minute time frame, we're technically bullish. This is technically the higher low.
This is technically the higher high. Now, this trade, for us to technically enter this market, we're supposed to wait for a shift to structure, which would be way down here. Obviously, if we got a shift to structure way down there, the risk to reward of the trade pretty much won't make sense. So what I'll probably ask for after this shift of structure is for price to come back into this area, give me another entry to then sell. Or what we can do is create a new higher high, and then we wait for the shift to structure here. And then this is basically essentially the same entry we'd be having now. We just have that shift to structure as the extra confirmation. What I want from this market personally is to simply do what it did the last time. I want this market to have that liquidity grab, have that deeper push up, and then have that engulfing. If you notice, we had a daily candlestick rejection from this area of interest. We came back, retested it. We had this quote unquote liquidity grab, and then the massive bearish engulfing candlestick rejection. This is the proper entry that I like to take. We just never got to enter this trade because the pullback didn't come back far enough. So we got the perfect break in this area, didn't retest as deep as I wanted to, so we missed the whole trade as a whole. But this is the exact same pattern that I want for this trade to happen here. I want a liquidity grab in order for us to actually then have that extra confirmation after we break. Can we have the move without that? 100%. So I'm going to be on the lookout on this one. I'm going to be waiting to see if we break below these lows right here. And depending how and if we break it, I'm going to be interested in selling. But this is my interest. If we break through this level, that'll be a very clean push to the downside that I want to continue trading with that momentum. So that's for NZDUSD. For Euro GBP, Euro USD, we broke below this area perfectly. This area of interest is a little bit tricky because, arguably you could scoot it down a little bit, and then this can still be the support level right around this area. And, we can even move it a little bit lower, and then we get that weekly support level from that structure point. It's a bit subjective depending on how you want to look at it, but I personally don't want to enter at the low. And looking at it now, I don't want to consider this the area of interest and then we wait for the retest of here, because I would see it having a retest of this area. I am doing something that I shouldn't be doing here, and that's cross pair correlation. So I'm looking at Euro USD and GBP USD. Basically, I'm not interested in Euro USD in the sells because I'm not interested in the GBP USD sells. I can see this having a reaction from here before having the push to the downside. And then here, I can just see this having the push to the downside. But because of GBP USD, I'm not interested in it. Now, that's something that I never typically do. I'm just doing it for this one example because I just want to be, I want to be more conservative. Like I do see this coming back and retesting this little ugly head and shoulders and having a push down, but I'm going to be a bit more conservative on it just because of GBP USD and how strong this support level is. If this comes back and gives me a retracement to here, I will not be interested in selling because I don't want to sell straight into this support. For here, I just really want to wait for this break and retest to enter the trade to the downside, which in default, Euro USD falls on the same area. So it's not something that I like to do or ever really do, but I'm just doing it for this one example because I just want to be extra selective. Like I really want my next trade to be a winning trade. I don't want to lose my next trade. So I'm being very selective on it, and that's the reasoning behind it. USD CHF, pretty much exactly what I explained. And the GBP CHF, daily time frame close with a clean daily bullish engulfing candlestick. So everything looks, well, not bullish engulfing, daily bullish candlestick. So looks like it's finding the floor here. I would just keep waiting for this to show me his hand before anything. So yeah, that might be a lot of information, but that's my market update.
So continuing with NZDUSD, so I did exactly as I said. It had that liquidity grab. Now it had this break of structure, and now it looks like it's creating that head and shoulders. Didn't have the strongest engulfing like I'd want to. This is actually very good of a trade. Like I actually like this. I want to make sure that the daily closes like this, right? Because this is technically not a confirmed entry signal right now. So like we can't really enter based off of a daily rejection because the daily hasn't closed. Euro USD has continued to have a move to the downside. We did not enter this. The GBP USD has continued to have a push to the downside. We did not fucking enter this. USD CHF, I was expecting a counter trend trade. Very high risk. This one did like not even considering. CAD JPY needs to read this. Okay, so for sure the number one pair is USD CAD and NZDUSD. Here we are betting for a weak dollar and a strong CAD. Here we are betting for a strong dollar and a weak NZD. You see this? This is where it gets interesting because they're both going to have the same move, right? Like if the dollar gets strong, this is gonna go down and this is gonna go up. So I'm gonna definitely be wrong on one of these two, depending on the dollar. The dollar primarily moves both of these currency pairs. So I need to make a decision on which one I think is the best one. And this is that decision-making moment that differentiates a good trader from a great trader. And I just see all of these currency pairs, the dollar getting stronger. I don't know what the New Zealanders are doing on that side of the world. Oh, you guys could read that checklist. You guys will still have no idea how to use it. So I am not concerned at all. I'm just genuinely thinking right now. I'm genuinely thinking. And it's not that I want to take a trade, but I do want to take a trade. I haven't taken a trade in 2 weeks. And not that I'm itching, but you know, I could also take both, right? I could take both trades and you know, it would somewhat offset each other, but that's not the goal. The goal is to not offset. It goes to just be right. Okay, tell me the fucking rejection from this fucking EMA. Okay, NZDUSD. The time is, it's okay, right? We're right at the beginning of New York session, literally 9 a.m. My take profit would realistically be right here. Daily, oof, it's a bit of an optimistic take profit, but I like this. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7. Days retracing back into this area. So you break, retracing, bang, 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 fucking bang. Do we have any news? Not position size calculator. Do we have any news? Wow, we have Canadian news tomorrow and some USD news and some more USD news. Flash services, these are never fun. So this one does not affect the Canadian news tomorrow. I'm just generally thinking, guys, you know, technically right now, if I were to have entered this market, I would have entered right here. And technically I would have entered right here. So technically speaking, I am in profit right now in both of these positions. Now, Alex, what do you mean you're in profit? Clearly you would have been in drawdown. Exactly. So I'm saving myself drawdown. Because I was about to enter this trade right here. I'm like, oh shit, we need to go record this. And as soon as I start recording it, I see they start having this pullback. Okay, you know what? Let me just hold back for just a second. So technically, I'm in profit right now because I've saved myself this drawdown. I could even have saved myself a potential loss. If price comes back into this area, then I'll make a decision to enter back into this trade because it's where my original entry was supposed to be. But when I start seeing this rejection up here, I don't start thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna enter it now because it's giving me a better entry. No, that's not what I see this doing. I see this as like, okay, clearly there's something wrong. Because if I wait for all of these confirmations, if I wait for these extra pullbacks, if I wait for all this stuff, it's so I can literally have the trade come here and go straight into my take profit. If it doesn't do that, there's something that's wrong. So this right here is technically good because it's avoiding me either a potential loss or just some drawdown. So Now I don't see this pullback as like, okay, I'm gonna get a better entry, so I get a better risk to reward. I don't need a better risk to reward. I need a better confirmation that I'm gonna fucking win this trade. That what I explained and what I analyzed is correct. I don't need to get an extra 0.5% or an extra percent. No, I need to just confirm the trade that I'm taking is right. So having this have the continuation push to the downside is that confirmation. Going back into this area is not that. That's just, you know, you being greedy, trying to like look at it for something that it isn't. But yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait now. I'm gonna wait to see if we manage to break below. So this is weird, right? Because this is going to the upside right now, so that means strong dollar, and this is also going to the upside, which means weak dollar. But I'm looking over here, and I'm also seeing this go up, and I'm seeing this go up. So that means that the dollar is indeed getting a little bit weak. The euro is getting a bit stronger. This should be going. This is a bit neutral. This is why it's a currency pair at the end of the day. So this is going up maybe because the NZD is getting a bit stronger than the USD, and this is going up because the dollar is getting interesting. I mean, the dollar is just getting stronger than the Canadian dollar right now, you know, for this hour or whatever. I'm glad this is happening and this is being recorded. So for now, I'm going to wait to see if this comes back into this potential entry level. If not, I just avoided myself a loss. NZDUSD, I'm going to wait for this to have the break below this area so then I can enter this trade as well. Patience pays, boys, and we'll come back. Let's see what happens. Fuck, man. Fuck. Fuck, man. Well, it just did it too fast. That's really what it was. Like, it didn't give me a fucking chance, man. Ah, fuck. That's really it. That is what it is. USD CAD. So this is pretty interesting, right? Because this means that the dollar is getting weak. So you would expect this to have a massive push up, and it is having the push up, just not as strong. But that means that the Canadian dollar is getting stronger. So I go look at CAD JPY. It hasn't moved. But on USD CAD, so this is why you can't go do this cross pair correlation bullshit, right? You need to like treat every trade for what it is. And I was right. I could have taken both of these trades and they would have offsetted each other, right? This right now, if I would have entered this trade right at that area, I would be up a 1 to 143. On NZDUSD, I would be down half of my position. So I would technically just be up a 1, right? Which I would close, if I were to close out both trades, I'd make profit, right? But perfect example of, you know, offsetting both trades pretty much. And for me, I wanted to pick just the right trade and enter just the right trade. And I really, really strongly believe this was the right trade. So I stuck to it and I kind of overlooked USD CAD in terms of just like waiting for the entry. But it did happen very fast right after this 30-minute pin bar rejection. It just happened so fast, bro. Fuck, man. It's moving so fast. And my take profit would have realistically been somewhere around here. So let's see what happens. So far, I missed out on it. And yeah, I'm waiting for the break of this neckline to sell. Oh, you think I'm fucking around? You think I'm going to miss the next fucking trade? What are you, out of your mind? NZDUSD, welcome back. Wow. This is what I want to see right here. This is literally what I'm talking about. We had this trade right here. We've been waiting for this confirmation. If this goes down, this goes up. It's fucking math. Now, I know I'm contradicting myself a little bit here. You don't ever want to do cross-pair correlation. It's not good, right? I want to be very clear on that. But it's just black and white. This just isn't. Now I don't know what to do. Well, this trade's done, right? This trade already happened. Nothing that we could do here. Trade's pretty much cooked. Either you got it or you didn't. Don't wait for the pullback now. The trade is pretty much done. So this one, see you later. Now here, hello. What's your name? New Zealand. Wow, what a pretty fucking name. Hey, New Zealand, how are you? Well, let me tell you something. I've always had a thing for the Zealands, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what I'm saying? Well, I just want your fucking money. Give me your money. New Zealand, give me your money. We need this bearish engulfing to take the trade. So we're going to have to come back in 11 minutes. I was downstairs, my alarm hit, and I just ran up here and started recording. I'm just being honest. So I'm going to put my alarm at the low of this wick so it breaks this low to let me know. But I can't do anything until this candlestick doesn't close. So for now, let's just set and forget. That's pretty much it. Set and forget. We'll come back. All right, boys. So we are back after, I don't know how many hours. I tried to do an update earlier, but my computer was literally bugging out. So after we had that break of this, well, this candle actually never broke below. We had a push up, and then we actually had the bearish confirmation retest of this neckline. And this candlestick right here, it looks like it's creating that perfect entry signal right now. The 30-minute did give us that bearish candle rejection. We have a beautiful evening star on the 15-minute. I'm pretty much ready to enter this trade right now. I've waited for so many extra confirmations. I'm gonna go ahead and enter this trade literally right now live with you guys. So I'm gonna risk about, I don't know, a light, I'm gonna risk a light 200,000 on this trade right now. So my account balance is $3 million. Is that $3 million? 300, 3,000, 30,000, 300, 3 million. Yes. I want to risk, I think it's 8%. My stop loss is a total of 20 pips. We're going to be trading NZDUSD. Calculate. It's about a quarter mil. So we'll do 1,100 lots. So we make this 7%. 1,000 lots. Okay. So I'm going to risk 200 grand on this trade right now. Beautiful head and shoulders, rejecting from this area of interest. We've broken the neckline. I have not taken a trade in 2 weeks. So what a perfect way to enter another trade if it's not with a head and shoulders. So we're going to actually take this trade on one of my smaller accounts first. Oh shit. It's on, oh fuck. It's on my other phone. Where is my other phone? No, my other phone has no battery. I don't really want to turn this phone on right now. Fuck. All right, fuck it. Fuck it. I'm only going to take the trade on one account. Fuck it. So right now, as you can tell, no trades on our account. We're literally going to take this trade live as we speak. So right now we have no trades in the account live. So let me go ahead and execute this trade. There's going to be NZDUSD. Let me turn this on. Screen recording. Okay, NZDUSD, where you at? All right, NZDUSD, we're gonna do 500 lots. 500 lots. Stop loss is going to be 57,591. 0.57591. Ready for that sell button? Jesus. Okay, not the worst. Trade 57,591. So, all right, beautiful. We just entered the position. Already decently in profit. The trade is moving very solid. So, let's see how it goes. NZDUSD, we're officially in a sell position. All we have to do now is set and forget. CAD JPY waiting for that retracement to then buy. USD CAD pretty much cooked. Euro USD GBP USD not interested. NZD USD, you are the first trade we have taken in, I don't know, I think it's 2 weeks. We've avoided a couple losses, so let's see what goes down. Beautiful head and shoulders. So we'll update you guys as it goes. All right, little update. So pretty clean continuation push. Right now we are actually up. Not fucking bad. We are up fucking really good around the fucking money. We are up $50,000 fucking dollars. Yeah, you want to say it's fake, you motherfuckers? You want to say it's fucking demo, you motherfuckers? What color's your fucking Jacob and Co. roulette? Huh? Huh? Honestly, Alex, relax. All right, relax. Don't get like this so soon into the market. Like the trade has not even gone to take profit, and you're already talking like this, brother. Just chill. Just chill. Okay. Wait. Did I over risk on this trade? This is 6 pips. No, we're good. Yeah, we're good. So yeah, what was I saying? I got a little confident there. All right, boys, what we're gonna do now is just set and fucking forget. Delete all these links. All right, we'll come back later tonight. See you, boys. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Market update. NZDUSD. We were really nicely into profit. I thought price was gonna come back, retest this neckline, the head and shoulders, and sell. Even retest higher and sell. Fuck, man. We're a little bit in drawdown right now. We are currently in about $132,000 in drawdown on NZDUSD. So we're definitely in a loss. We have not lost just yet, but I want to see how this daily time frame closes to see how this move actually moves. So this move right here is going to be based off of, I guess, the fundamentals that are going to give it a little bit of a push. So we already had these news in the morning. We have some news later in the afternoon where Trump is going to speak. You guys know what that means. He's about to say some crazy shit, and we're trading NZDUSD. So hopefully the dollar, whatever he's going to say, will make this stronger to push this to the downside. So our only confluence right now is hope and Trump. Whatever Trump says will determine if we lose $200,000 on this trade or we make $400,000 on this trade. Trump, please, I voted for you. Don't fuck me here, man. Don't say some crazy shit. Be smooth with it, right? Because if you say it too fast or you're too aggressive, you come out on the mic saying some shit too aggressive, you're going to spike the market up. I'm going to get wicked out, and then you'll probably be right in the direction, but then I lost. So just be smooth with it, you know? So we'll come back in the afternoon and see what happens. All right. So NZDUSD, yo, I don't know about you guys, bro, but that right there is my stop loss, and my stop loss did not get hit. We are still inside of this trade. We're in drawdown about $150,000 right now, and wow, did that get close to our stop? Like that literally got. No, I have to show this right now. Look at how close that got to our stop loss right here. This is why I recommend the brokers that I recommend. Look at how close price got to our stop loss. So we are, hold on, I need to get something to point at this. We're gonna use just this sticky note right here. Hold on 1 second. We're gonna use this sticky note as an indicator. All right, so this right here, because I don't think you guys could. I don't know if you guys heard that. That was the chair. But look at this. This right here, that line, that dotted line, that's our stop loss. That wick is where price went to. Look how close that got to our stop loss. It did not hit our fucking stop loss. We are still in this trade, bro. This might be, if this goes to where it was right now and it hits our take profit, this might be the most legendary trade on the face of the earth. If this goes from nearly hitting our stop loss by exact price, like not even half of a pip, and then it goes to our take profit from this point right here, I might as well call myself Mark fucking Douglas. If you don't know who Mark Douglas is, search him up, because I might as well call myself fucking, who's the other rich guy? The other rich trader? What's his name? Dude, Warren Buffett. If this goes from the stop loss to the take profit, might as well call me Warren fucking Buffett. And if it goes to stop loss, just don't call me anything, honestly. This video might not even air. This shit is stop loss. But yeah, what a trade. So for now, we are going to continue to set and forget, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck, man. Fuck, man. This is the fucking bullshit that I'm talking about, bro. We lost $223,000 on this position right here, as you guys can see, because of CPI bullshit, man. You know what's even funnier? This trade, it literally almost took us out by stop loss, right? By a pip, right? And if I would have gave my stop loss a little bit more breathing room like this, which I would have still taken the loss because of the CPI news. But literally comes like to the pip of my stop loss, does not take me out, and then it goes to the pip of my entry, and then it does not. I personally, like, I don't make the decision to close out my entry. I'm like, bro, I'm committing. The trade either hits my stop loss or it hits my take profit. And then CPI news does this bullshit. This is the wick out. This is the liquidity grab. And then guess what? I was right back into the direction. Now, I'm not going to jump into this trade. It's Friday at the ending of New York session. There's no way I'm going to enter this trade now or just jump in. But guys, there's just some weeks that are like this. There's some weeks where you're going to make money. There's some weeks where you're going to lose money. There's some weeks where you're going to get wicked out on some bullshit like this. It is completely inevitable. All you need to do is stick to your plan. Who the fuck is calling me? That was my motherfucking Indian fucking calling. What was I saying before this fucking Indian fucking calls me? What the fuck? Some weeks are gonna win, some weeks you're gonna lose, some weeks you're gonna have this bullshit. I missed out on my beautiful sell on USD CAD for the pro trend trade. I missed out on this sell. We avoided a loss on CAD JPY, and then we did not get the entry for the buy, and now we took a loss because of a fucking wick out on NZDUSD. It is what it is. This is part of the game. You simply have to move on to the next trade. This is a week where you got me, buddy. I'll be honest, you got me. I'm going to charge it to the game and make sure that next week I don't get caught off on this bullshit. But you know what? It is what it is. We move on to the next trade and we set and fucking forget. If you guys aren't subscribed to this YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We're uploading videos like this every single week of the real raw version of how I trade. You guys are getting like live breakdowns of how I am actually interested in these positions, what I do to manage the trade, what I do to not enter a trade, what I do to continue holding a trade. And this is the reality of how a week goes when the markets are just choppy. If you just look at the price action of this whole entire week, this was literally consolidating for the last 4 days. So there's not much that we can do there, not much that we can trade there. It's just part of the game. All we have to do is react and adapt and move on. Now, I'm not going to make an emotional decision and just jump in towards the last session of the week because there's simply no volume left in the market. And I'm not in the business to hold a higher risk position than what trading already is. So hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next week. We're going to make a comeback now. We haven't traded in 2 weeks after we broke our record for 750K in a single week. Our first trade back is this bullshit loss. And there's nothing that we can do about it. We simply take it to the chin and move on. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys enjoyed this week because I fucking didn't. And let's see what next week has to bring. See you boys.